It's 5:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5:11 Eastern. You see the mangoes on my trees. They're begging to be picked. 5:11 on June 11, 2023. I'm in the process. I finished all the tests on the CPI and all that, and trying to put the upper plenum on. Now I don't have a lot of room here because this air conditioning hose, but the upper plenum will slide back if you're careful with it. And I mean careful because if you're not careful lifting it up, there has to be clearance when you move it to the rear. Has to be, or you'll damage the CPI and you'll cry big tears, or the electrical connector. And the same thing when you put it back on. You have to be very careful to slide it in and out and do it at an angle to provide clearance for the maxi injector and the electrical connector, because if you damage those, you're going to be really upset. They're pretty durable and sturdy. At least the old connector was. The new connectors look a little flimsier, but the electrical connector. But anyway, after you do that, make sure you've got the gasket in there flat and not damaged and all the way around. And that takes a little fiddly work to lift it up just a little bit and make sure all the way around, make sure the gasket is where it needs to be before you start putting these bolts back in. Now I've intentionally disconnected the battery to remind myself not to try to start this, because if you try to start it without the bolts in it, or torqued down to 100 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds, which is 1/12 of that force, inch-pounds, 100 inch-pounds, and you go all the way around, make sure you got all the bolts in, that it'll suck that gasket in when you go to start the engine. So I willfully disconnected the battery, and we're in between rain showers, but I'm going to run to town and get some new spark plugs and probably something for dinner, and because I want to keep working on this while the weather's with me. And I should keep going now, but I'm a little tired and dirty, so I want to get a little bit more relaxed before I check that gasket and start putting bolts in and putting the spark plugs in and trying to get it running again. I find if I take a lot of breaks, I don't make as many mistakes. When I was younger, I didn't make these kind of mistakes, but I seem to be having, I seem to have to focus more now. And so that said, I'm going to break off now and do a dinner break.